Giving information is rarely an objective. It's simply a mean. When we give information, we want people to perceive it, hopefully in the right way. We want to motivate or to instruct them or make them proud or make them think or whatever. You want to have some kind of impact on the people you give the information. So it's not just giving information, it's actually trying to change some behavior. Then we know that people are different. We're different in many ways. Here we are going to talk a little bit about learning styles. How do you perceive things? We are different in our, well, you could call it intelligence, or in the way we perceive things in our learning styles. There was a guy called Gardner. He has a model called Gardner's 9 learning styles. Let's look into it. The first one up in the top is linguistic. Some people are really linguistic. For instance, I am. So words are important. It means that you are auditive. So you're perceiving words and you can remember a lot of words. And when people talk a lot, you can remember it and you just take it in word by word. So the words are important. When we are talking about the next one, bodily kinesthetic, it means that you feel things. But it also means that you sense emotions around you, and when you learn things, you do it through trying things or through examples that you can relate to and actually feel in your own body like you were there. Or you know that people, maybe you are that type who wants to try it themselves. You have to do this and this, and then you press this button, and then you go here. Oh, let me try it. Oh yes, now I know. So you program yourself by doing it. That's what lies into that perception. The next one, intrapersonal, is where you think about it in yourself. You don't have to share it with somebody, you don't have to discuss it, you're just thinking about it. It's internally in your own head and mind and emotions. You're thinking about it, processing it, and really have to think it through. That's probably you can recognize that in yourself or in other people. Then we have the logical, mathematical intelligence or perception. Maybe it speaks for itself. It has to be logical. If you have a formula or if you have something logical, when you do like this, it will lead to this. If you show people understanding first, then it's easier to put forward some demands afterwards. Because when you meet people who are open and understand you, you're more likely to open towards them. So that's logical. You have kind of a formula or a structure that, okay, this leads to this. Some people really want some kind of logic, but this is not logical. This is not, no, this is just emotion. Give me some common sense. You'll meet people who perceive like that. Spatial, what does that mean? It's actually related to the word space, because you are visual. You think in space and in figures, in pictures. So people who are spatial, they are more focused on the visual part. They think and remember in pictures, in stories, in figures, in objects. So they will be really good at figuring out when you say, you probably tried a test sometime where which of these figures they fit together. Spatial people will see that immediately and some don't. So this is visual. You want to see a model, you want to see a structure, you want to have a story, something to connect all the words to, then you remember it much better. Naturalistic is more about, well, about nature, about animals. A lot of people actually learn through nature, through animals, and seeing how they do. You'll also see some people, I don't know if it's directly connected, but you'll see people who have easier understanding or being with animals because they are kind of connected. So that's another part of perception and intelligence. Then you have the interpersonal and social learning style. Maybe it also speaks for itself. You learn with other people, by seeing how they do, by talking to them, by sharing information, by trusting, by simply adapting and watching how other people do it. You copy, you share, you are open towards how other people do it. When we talk about musical, it's people who are more rhythmical. So if you're rhythmic and you know that you have rhythm in dance or in poetry or in just tapping a rhythm. Some people are, some are not. Rhythmical people and musical people, they remember in some kind of incantations. It could be like you can say, for instance, when I'm running sometimes, I want to remember something or to influence myself positively. I run and say, for every day, in every way, I get stronger and better and more happy. That could be an incantation. If you say that to yourself a lot of times, you remember it. It could also be remembering some figures, 7, 9, 13, or rhythmical people, they remember things, they see it in some kind of rhythm, they make some kind of algorithm or incantation, something they can remember and tell themselves all the time to remember. Existential people or existential learning style is where you see it in a higher perspective. You think it, you connect it to your, to the whole world, to way of living, to your values, to some kind of higher purpose where you can fit it in and gives meaning to you. So you take it in a broader context, more abstract, and it can be actually factual, but you see it more abstract in a higher perspective. And that was it. So what do we need to use it for? Well, you know now that people are different. You cannot adapt to everyone and think all this in every presentation, but you can say, okay, I have to do something visually, I have to put some words on so I satisfy the auditive people, I have to be kinesthetic, make them work through or talk about it or feel it. And then I have to mind some of the other learning styles to differ my presentation and to have a broader perspective in how I transfer my information and my message. So try to study other people. What do they do? How do they perceive? What works best on your learning style? And then use it.